Father's Day Big League Baseball Weekend is brought to you in part by Fast Acting Roundup. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. DeRosa with the catch. He hasn't been ejected, has he? Strike three. Oh. There it is. We'll never know if he had caught it, what the call would have been. Might have ended up on Waveland. Swing and a miss, and the Cubs win. We had a wild start to this Father's Day weekend series yesterday as the fans got involved on a couple of balls hit out near the basket, one in left and the other one in right, but the Cubs still took their third straight and fourth of 5 on the homestand. And today they go for their fourth in a row as they take on the San Diego Padres here on WGN Sports. What are we going to see today? Who knows? Len Casper, Bob Brenly with you. And not only did you have the fan involvement yesterday, but Bob, the Padres were not real happy with Alfonso Soriano and what he did after he hit his home run.
Well, you know where I come down on these kind of spectacles. A batter standing at the plate observing a home run. In this case, Soriano kind of backpedaling up the first baseline. And certainly the Padres pitching staff were not very pleased with Soriano. They felt he was showing up David Wells. This was a quote from Jake Peavy saying that if a player does that to him, he's going to drill him in the ribs or drill the next player in the ribs and tell him to go back and tell his teammate to run the bases. The thing about Soriano is this is a guy that's likely to hit 35, 40, 45 home runs this season. This was his 11th of the year, and certainly it was a big home run, and it's good to see Soriano turning the corner with the power swing, but you'd still like to see him hit the ball and run the bases.
By the way, Jake Peavy is not scheduled to pitch in this series. It'll be Chris Young today. More on him in a second. But how about Carlos Zambrano? He's won 2 in a row and has been tremendous.
In his second season, the self-proclaimed second season for Carlos Zambrano, he looks like the Carlos Zambrano the Cubs were expecting when they left Mesa in spring training, really throwing the ball well right now.
Chris Young doing the same. He's 6'10". He has not taken a loss since May 12th. Another beautiful day. It's heating up even more. Padres and the Cubs coming up next.
Next 24 on lethal new diseases for sale.
Hector and Ramon are trying to buy a virus to use as a weapon.
And Jack goes undercover to buy it.
I cannot allow this virus to get into the wrong hands. Millions of people could die.
Suddenly, Jack finds he has competition.
Another buyer's interested in the virus.
An old enemy.
She killed my wife.
Ready for a new fight.
Whatever he's told you, he's lying.
What do I have to do to prove to you I'm on your side?
Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood Aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
There may be better ways to spend 15 minutes online. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. There may be better ways to spend 15 minutes online. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play, play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
That's where it all started yesterday, as Derrek Lee just missed a home run. Not too long after that, Adrian Gonzalez credited with a triple to right on a ball that glanced off the hands of another fan. Today's Cubs broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is presented in high definition, sponsored by Comcast, and brought to you in 5.1 Dolby Surround Sound. So Carlos Zambrano will pick up that baseball and get ready to work. Trying to figure out the wind today, Bob. The flags near us are kind of blowing in or across from left to right. I've seen it blow out. Kind of moving around. It's not doing much right now, but it is hot.
We're going to call it left to right wind, and definitely a helping wind today. Neither team took batting practice on the field before the ball game, but under these conditions, it usually favors the hitters.
Now the San Diego Padres starting lineup, they dropped into second place back at the Dodgers, who won last night, and they're now in second place. Marcus Giles back in the lineup. He was under the weather yesterday. Termel Sledge in right. Adrian Gonzalez. It's Russell Branyan in left. Khalil Green at short. Hiram Bocachica gets a start in center. Mike Cameron with a day off. Chase Headley in his second major league game. Bowen and Young make up their battery.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively. Behind starter Carlos Zambrano, brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, PA, and Floyd once again across the outfield. Mark DeRosa, who continues to sparkle, especially with the glove down there at third base, filling in for Aramis Ramirez. Terrio and Fontenot up the middle of the field. Derrek Lee over at first base. Coy Hill once again doing the catching. For Big Z, Carlos Zambrano. Talked about his second season. He's pitched 14 2/3 innings in his last 2 starts, giving up only 8 base hits and 2 earned runs.
Cubs are still 5.5 out. Milwaukee blew out the Twins 11-3 last night. Meanwhile, St. Louis clubbed at Oakland 14-3. So the Cubs are 2 games ahead of St. Louis for second. Hit the umpires for you. Mike Everett works the plate. 2-time All-State music trumpet player back in the early 80s. 1 ball, no strikes. We're underway.
So if we're looking for a horn section for the Len and Bob band, we call Mike Everett.
Mike Everett is the man.
All right.
2-0. Giles wasn't feeling well yesterday, so he had the day off. Back in there today. Josh Barnegus feeling ill, and that's why Rob Bowen gets a start back at the plate. '89 sizzling degrees as we get started. The wind officially out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Good comeback by Zambrano. 2-0, and he fires 3 straight strikes to get Marcus Giles.
Talk about Mark DeRosa filling in for Aramis Ramirez down at third base, and he put on a fielding clinic down there yesterday. Tough hop to his left, fielded the ball behind him, threw on in plenty of time for the out, and then saved at least a run there, a diving stop on a ball that appeared headed for extra bases down into that left field corner.
One strike on Termel Sledge. Hits it hard, a 1 bouncer, but right at Derrek Lee, who will step on first base. 2 up, 2 down. It'll be Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman.
Healy holding his ground down there at first base on that hot hit ball. One slight step back to get a better hop, and then takes it himself over there at first base.
It is technically a crosswind today, and the Cubs game notes, they have the wind trends. This is the 13th game in which we've seen a crosswind. The Cubs are 4-8, but that could be southeast. It's northwest today. It's not broken down any further than that. Cubs 8-6 when it blows in, 3-4 when the wind is blowing out. Ball 2. Zambrano 4-0 in his career against the Padres. This is his first and what will be his only start against San Diego this year.
Perfect 4-0 record against the Padres in his career. ERA just over 2.
Hasn't faced him since early May of last year. You just feel like the first inning is always the biggest one for most pitchers, but especially for Zambrano. A 9 earned run average in the opening inning. You just get through this one, settle down a little bit. Ted Lilly struggled to find his control early, but then he really did and went 8 innings. Ball 4.
Well, we talk about it just about every day. For most pitchers, it takes an inning to settle in out on the game mound. They come in from the various bullpens after warming up on that mound. It takes them a few pitches to get used to the new mound. It takes a few more pitches to get used to the umpire strike zone. And we talk about all the time, the good pitchers, you have to get them early before they settle in. So you're absolutely right. That first inning is important for everybody, but especially for Zambrano. Ted Lilly struggled a little bit first couple hitters of the game yesterday before settling in.
Here's Russell Branyan. Just his second start of the year in left for Branyan. Most of his starts have come at third base. A 1-1 check swing. He went too far.
Well, Branyan is a big-time power hitter. Really long swing. Gets that bat out in front of home plate there on the check swing. Prodigious power. This is one of those guys you love to watch take batting practice. He can hit balls out of sight when he makes contact. Because of that long uppercut swing, he is very susceptible to the strikeout as well. 26 punch-outs in 70 at-bats this year.
And 15 and 28 at-bats in his career against Zambrano. He's 4 for 28. He will take walks. His on base is 382. His batting average is 229. It's Khalil Green on deck. Season series knotted up at 3-3. And it will end tomorrow. And Greg Maddux opposes Rich Hill. Inside 3-2.
Cut fastball just off of the inside corner. Coy Hill tries to hold it there and give Mike Everett a real good look, but the ball was cutting off the corner inside too far.
Gonzalez goes with the pitch. Lifted in the air. Felix PA with a lot of room. 2-out walk, no runs. Soriano, PA, and Lee do up against Chris Young.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's just, it's jammed or something.
What are you doing?
Step back.
Jeez.
What are you doing in my car?
Want to get away? Now you can.
With Southwest Airlines, you can fly from Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Wait, DQ put the cone in the soft serve? Yet they can't give me a face. Oh, the irony. The new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard Treat at Dairy Queen. With crunchy waffle cone pieces, caramel, and chocolate chunks. Do one.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Now Lou Pinilla's Cubs lineup today brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. I mentioned the top three, Soriano, PA, and Lee. Career best 3 doubles for Derrek. Cliff Floyd in right. Mark DeRosa at third base. Mike Fontenot's had a huge homestand. He's at second. Terrio, Hill, and Zambrano, the bottom 30.
Take a look at the Padres defensively. A little bit of a makeshift lineup today for Buddy Black. Russ Brandon in left field. Hiram Boca Chica in center field. Termel Sledge over in right. Chase Headley at third base. Khalil Green at short. Marcus Giles back in the lineup at second base today. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Rob Bowen will be doing the catching for the big, tall right-hander, 6'10", Chris Young.
He has one of those sneaky good fastballs. It doesn't appear velocity-wise to be overpowering, but he gets a lot of swings and misses.
You know, Len, I was looking at the charts from his last start, which came against the Seattle Mariners. This guy threw 25 pitches to left-handed hitters in that ball game. 24 of them were four-seam fastballs. Now you say, how can you get away with that at the major league level? And I think hitters all around the National League are asking themselves the same thing. Chris Young will throw a fastball from 88 to 91, four-seam up at the top of the strike zone all day long.
Basically, 1-2 on Soriano.
Excuse me, Len. Basically, two-pitch guy. Four-seam fastball. Occasionally, he'll throw a two-seamer when he's looking for a ground ball, but mostly just four-seam fastballs and hard sliders.
The wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Went with a breaking ball and gets Soriano. And David Wells was a bit cranky out there in the mound, even at the plate yesterday. Wasn't all that thrilled with Brian Gorman's strike zone. 6 innings. He gave up 10 hits, 4 runs. And took the loss. He really, I guess, didn't see what Soriano did after he hit the home run, but they were teammates at one time, by the way, with the Yankees. Rolling outside on Felix P.A. One and one.
Yeah, you know, Len, that's one of those arguments. I don't know if there's a right side or a wrong side. You talk to people from different eras in baseball. I mean, for example, you talk to Ron Santo about a hitter standing at home plate and watching a home run ball. That was an absolute no-no in Ron Santo's playing days. A little bit later during my playing career, it became a little more accepted. Reggie Jackson was probably the first one to really make it an art form, standing at home plate, admiring home runs. And, you know, with the excessive coverage of baseball now and the highlight shows every night, it seems to be more and more prevalent. Part of the home run is the home run trot and the pose at home plate. You talk to kids nowadays, they don't think anything of it.
Yeah, the times have changed, and the ball was way out. It skipped out onto Waveland Avenue. Inside. But again, that's where you get into the rules, or the unwritten rules, and what offends certain players and managers might not offend others.
I think the one that really used to get me was if you're beating a team 12-2 in the 8th inning and a guy hits a solo home run to make it 12-3 and poses on his home run ball.
surrounded by green, makes a nice play to get PA.
Well, certainly you can understand somebody hitting a game winner late in the ball game, or if a team needs a jump start, hitting a big home run to get the offense going. But sometimes those meaningless home runs just get them to run around the bases. This is what upset the Padres. Soriano kind of backpedaling up the first baseline as he admired his handiwork. Yeah, you can see David Wells was watching the flight of the ball, so he didn't see what was going on up that first baseline. But you can be sure his teammates let him know about it.
Well, I usually defer to people who actually played this game at this level. Some would say, well, just go strike him out the next time around. And that's your revenge. But that's not how it always works. The one that gets me, though, is just the guy that wears you out. I mean, Soriano hit 3 home runs against the Atlanta Braves, and then the next night, the next starting pitcher drilled him. Why? Because he had success? Now, they said they were just working inside. You know? 2-1 on Derrek Lee. What a day he had. 4 for 4 with a career best 3 doubles. Just missed what would have been his 7th home run. And the ball hawk out in left just didn't make the play. The other thing about it is, it really hasn't been discussed, is 2 Cub fans had a shot at making a catch and didn't. And in the case of the right field play, the Cubs are very fortunate that the fan did not catch it, because if he had, they might have credited Gonzalez with a 2-run homer, and that would have given them the lead.
And Gonzalez' ball clearly was not going to leave the ballpark. But you're absolutely right. If that fan comes up with that ball, you're never quite sure what the umpires are going to call. We talked about that yesterday as well. Those are the toughest calls for the umpires to make. That ball's a long distance away from where they're positioned when the play starts. They try to hustle out and get into a position to see it as best they can, but sometimes they're 150 feet or more away from the play, trying to determine was the fan in the field of play, was the ball in the stands, and that's a tough one for the umpires.
And if the ball does not come back, the benefit of the doubt's going to go to the hitter.
Well, this was the D. Lee ball to the well in left field yesterday. Just deflected off the glove, dropped down on the warning track. The umpires got that one right. And then this ball, touched by the fan right there, deflected it away from Cliff Floyd's glove. Cliff insists he would have had a play on the ball, thought he could have made the catch. We'll never know.
Well, I really could not disagree with anything he said. And, he has the biggest stake in the matter, because, again, he thought he was going to catch it. And what we would tell fans, number one, if you do it, there's a good chance you're going to get ejected. And number two, it could hurt the home team. Derrek Lee said it's just natural as he takes the walk. And Lou didn't really seem aggravated about it after the game. But the Cubs won. And if they had not won the game, then I think the reaction might have been a little different.
Atlanta went home last night and watched some highlights from other games around baseball, and there was a play at Yankee Stadium yesterday where the ball was looked like it was a possible home run. The left fielder jumped up against the fence and made a great catch, and there were at least a half a dozen fans trying to catch the ball or trying to take a swing at the left fielder as he made the catch out there. So it's not unique to Wrigley Field. It's all around baseball. Fans want to take home a souvenir.
Right center field, not very deep, and it'll be hauled in by Termel Sledge. Well, it's happening in Chicago and New York. I mean, you talk about knowledgeable baseball fans, but they want those souvenirs. After 1, no score.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with the salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden. 99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
From the night I went to the prom by myself to my 18th birthday party where all my ex-boyfriends showed up. It's all right here in the diary of me, Moesha Mitchell. Occupation, teenager.
Her name is Brandy. Her show is Moesha. Her message?
Follow your own star.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
A mirror image of the first inning. First 2 men were retired. The first batter on a strikeout, and the third hitter walked. And the cleanup man retired on a fly ball. A very similar first inning for both Zambrano and Young. Khalil Green leading off the second. He has a 3rd worst on-base percentage in the National League at .267. I like to write in the Cubs rankings in the National League in offensive and pitching departments. And going into play today, the Cubs are 6th in earned run average. Lined and caught by Lee. Nicely done by Derrek. 6th in ERA. 6th in runs, 6th in home runs, 6th in on-base percentage, 6th in slugging. Guess what they are in stolen bases? Just take a guess.
6th?
You are correct.
All right.
Good guess. So I guess they're about the 6th best team in the National League right now, according to the overall numbers. Not necessarily the record. The Cubs are 4 under. Boca Chica flies out to right.
Well, you know what Harry used to say? If you went to the track today and bet on the number 6 horse in the number 6 race, you know what would happen?
Finish at 6th?
Finish 6th, yeah.
Rooftop action. So they're working on a Saturday.
Hot Saturday to work as well.
Sun not a factor right now. Chase Headley, switch hitter. Brought up from Double-A yesterday. Paul McAnulty was sent out to the minor leagues to make room for Headley. So he gets his 2nd consecutive start. He went 0 for 3 and did not have a defensive chance. Earlier in the homestand, we were talking about certain positions where you may get a lot of opportunities and possibly none. He didn't have any chances at third base. Felix PA in center. Puts the clamps on the 3rd out. And Zambrano's retired 6 of the first 7. 0-0.
Superstation WGN brings the ballpark to Dad this Father's Day weekend. Get all the big league baseball action as the Chicago Cubs take on the San Diego Padres. And the White Sox battle the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You can put it on the board! Yeah!
3 exciting games, 2 days of fun, 1 big baseball weekend for Dad on Superstation WGN. Brought to you in part by Fast Acting Roundup. Kills to the root so weeds go down and stay down, even in the rain.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old-world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
Wait, DQ put the cone in the soft serve? Yet they can't give me a face. Oh, the irony. The new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard Treat at Dairy Queen. With crunchy waffle cone pieces, caramel, and chocolate chunks. Do one.
America's funniest home videos. Weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Home half of the second inning, DeRosa, Fontenot, Terrio for the Cubs against tall right-hander Chris Young. He has not allowed a home run, Chris Young, in his last 7 starts, and including the first inning. 54 2/3 straight homerless innings. Second longest active streak in the majors, trailing only his teammate Jake Peavy has gone 69 straight without allowing a home run. Foul tipped into the glove by DeRosa.
Well, and I mentioned earlier that Chris Young's last start against the Seattle Mariners, he went 6 2/3, gave up 7 hits and 3 earned runs. That broke a streak, those 7 games you talked about, where he gave up no earned runs in 3 of the starts, 1 earned run in 3 more, and 2 earned runs in 1 start. So a heck of a 7-game run for Chris Young.
Third in the league in earned run average. Peavy is first at 182. Young came in at 234. Rich Hill 6th. He'll pitch tomorrow for the Cubs. 3-2 on DeRosa. Had those 2 big plays defensively in the 4th inning. Then led off the bottom of the inning with a double and scored on the sac fly by Fontenot. And he was quoted after the game saying, you almost feel like you're owed a base hit there in that spot. Draws the walk to lead off the second. Well, let's hear from the ball hawk. We've met him. His name is Rambo, and he has some advice for people sitting out in the front row in the bleachers.
Follow what they did on the Fontenot home run in the basket. Just stay back. The guy that was lined up directly put his hands up and stayed back. Man, that basket came into play 3 times yesterday, and it's not worth reaching over. For one, the ramifications of questionably not being allowed back in when that's what I love to do. Anything on my mind going there, it's gone. I love going in there. Hanging out with the players, they know me on a first name basis as Rambo. They all know me, and I would never try to screw something up, man. I've never been kicked out before, and I've been going for like 4 years, never been turned away.
No, it's good advice, and he's been out there for a long time, and you could tell right after it that he knew he had made a mistake.
Yeah, 4 years, 4 gold gloves for best fielding fan out there in the left field bleachers. For those of you who are fortunate enough to get here early for batting practice at Wrigley Field, you'll see him working out there in the left field bleachers.
And we're told he almost caught Soriano's ball out on Waveland a little later. Well, what a homestand for Mike Fontenot. Let's go back to Monday against Houston. A double and a run in the second. The 2-1 win. That was the first run of that ball game, and officially the game-winning run. Had the go-ahead 2-run single on Wednesday in the 5th against Seattle. The next day, an RBI triple in the opening inning to make it 3-0. He walked, scored the game-winning run in the 8th, and then yesterday with a game-winning 2-run blast in the 6th. What more can he do?
I don't know, but don't try to figure it out. Just keep doing it.
Got the shaving cream pie in the face, and then stayed with us for a second segment right after the ball game. I wonder if he still has shaving cream in his eyes. I think he has got something in his eye. Got some in his mouth. Will Oman really got him.
Yeah, he could shave his tongue after that one. He had his mouth open, and that shaving cream went right in. Talked about Fontenot being a contact hitter with a little pop, and he got the ball up in the wind right here, tucked it into the basket in left center field. And that's one thing Lou likes about Mike Fontenot. He makes contact. He can put the ball in play against just about any type of pitching in any situation. And occasionally when he gets a pitch to his liking, he flexes his muscle and shows surprising power.
That gets way past Bowen, but it caroms right back. DeRosa will end up at second base. I'm going to go with a wild pitch.
Well, the way Bowen reacted, you almost thought that was a cross-up, but no reason for a cross-up just with the runner at first base. I think that was just a slider that never took the break from our Southwest RoboCam. You'll see that ball coming off the bricks right back to Rob Bowen. Yeah, that's the old backup slider.
Well, they call it a pass ball. So I'm wrong once again. It wasn't as far outside as I thought it might be. For a catcher, just a whiff on it. 3-2.
Well, that's an understandable pass ball or wild pitch, whatever you choose to call it. The official scorer called it a pass ball. But when you're anticipating the pitch doing something and it does completely the opposite, yeah, that's a tough time to hang a pass ball on a catcher.
The payoff delivery. Branyan with the catch. And that's the first out. David Wells admitted he didn't really know much about Fontenot before the game yesterday, but he does now. And everybody else around the league starting to find out. One of the guys he was traded for in that deal, Sammy Sosa, he hit his 599th career home run last night in Cincinnati, helping the Rangers win 7-6. It was a grand slam. It's possible that Sammy could hit his 600th against the Cubs. If he does not get another one this weekend, that'll be one of the big storylines going into that series starting Tuesday night. He hit his 500th in Cincinnati, I believe, in 2004. One strike Ontario. Leadoff walk and then a passed ball as DeRosa at second base. Busted back grounder. Scooped by Khalil Green. For 2 outs, and it'll be the switch hitting catcher Coy Hill with his first at bat, catching Carlos Zambrano for the 3rd straight outing.
Yeah, you'll notice Coy Hill wearing the long sleeves. He wears those every day. I talked to him about it yesterday, and he said he got in the habit of doing it when he was playing for the Dodgers, and George Hendrick was the hitting coach over there, and George Hendrick talked about the fact that he always wore long sleeves and long johns, regardless of the temperature, regardless of the ballpark, day game, night game, made no difference. And Coy Hill started doing it initially. He had an elbow problem and was wearing a brace on his right elbow. He didn't want the opposing team to know that he had any kind of trouble with his throwing arm, so he started wearing the long sleeves to cover up the brace. Got used to them, and now he says, I can't imagine playing without long sleeves, even on a day like this.
As a catcher, wow. He's going to perspire a lot. He might need 2 undershirts. Switch him up in the 5th inning. Let's see where this one ended up. Everett right off the mask.
Right in the forehead. Well, you'll probably see a lot of foul balls like this in the game today. Those balls that are fouled straight back either into the catcher, the umpire, or straight back to the backstop, because Chris Young uses that high 4-seam fastball so much. Tough pitch for hitters to get on top of.
He might have been hearing trumpets. Somebody's letting him have it from the Padres dugout, but he's smiling. Two strikes on Hill. Zambrano on deck. Hit a home run on Monday and is slugging .533. Young really taking his time. The pitch. This will be Branyan drifting over. So 2 walks in 2 innings, but no runs allowed by Chris Young.
The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. Derrek and I rewind Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet.
Who is it? Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
When you find true love, you find so many other gifts that you never even expected.
The way she laughs at my jokes.
He just cracks me up.
I love laughing with her.
He brings the romantic side out of me, and I want to be romantic.
She brings out the best in me because of who she is. At eHarmony, we match you on 29 dimensions of compatibility, and that can lead to a world of unexpected happiness.
He just makes me happy.
See for yourself. Log on to eHarmony.com today.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
Let's meet today's Celebrity Bad Kids, brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. 14-year-old Sarah Smith from Ashton, Illinois, and Dylan Hebor, 8 years old, from Antioch. Having a great day here at Wrigley thanks to our friends at Walgreens. For information and official rules of the Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids sweepstakes, go to WGNradio.com. A Father's Day gift a day early, yes? Does that mean they took the tickets? I'm a little confused, which is not unusual. Bowen, Young, and Giles in the 3rd inning.
Bowen doing the catching today after Josh Bard caught yesterday's ball game. Yesterday's catcher Josh Bard, 6 caught stealing in 49 attempts. That's 12% of the attempted base stealers he's been able to throw out. And Rob Bowen, similar numbers. 3 caught stealing in 24 attempts. That's about 12.5%. This Padres pitching staff not adept at holding runners at all. I would expect the Cubs to be very aggressive on the bases if they get the right guys on.
Second strikeout for Zambrano.
Always good to get that 8-hitter leading off an inning. That really eliminates a lot of the options that Bud Black would have to use his pitcher in this situation to put down a sacrifice bunt or possibly play hit and run if he feels that Young could make contact against Zambrano. But with 1 out, nobody on base, Young up there to swing away.
PA with no problem. Our executive producer Bob Vorwald, his sons like to play outside a lot, and we have some visitors to the booth. Cicadas. I don't know if you can get a good look or not.
There's quite a few of them in there jumping around.
They're enjoying the day.
Yeah, I mentioned to Bob that we hadn't really seen any in the city. I live close to the Lincoln Park Zoo over there, and I haven't noticed any as I've been out and about, but apparently they're all in Bob Vorwald's backyard.
Oh, they're all over my neighborhood, and I guess, you know, they sleep at night like other creatures do. You don't hear a sound at night, but just this high-pitched buzz the entire day. Giles hits a ground ball to short, and Terrio throws him out. I think they're sleeping right now, not making any noise.
What do you got to say for yourself, guys?
Anything?
No.
It's been a long 17 years.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
Wait, DQ put the cone in the soft serve? Yet they can't give me a face. Oh, the irony. The new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard Treat at Dairy Queen with crunchy waffle cone pieces, caramel, and chocolate chunks. Do one.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? Carol serves the salad, the breadsticks in the middle, and the soups as different as we are.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice, a clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polisher wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Try new Turtle Wax Ice Liquid Clay Bar to deep clean and restore your car's finish in one easy step.
Da Vinci's Inquest, weekdays on Superstation WGN.
Time to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. Countrified Rock. Robert Earl Keane. He does it as well as anybody, and he threw out the first pitch today. He'll be performing with his band at Joe's on Weed Street tonight. That's our Have a Ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery.
Hey, you know he's good. His name's Robert Earl.
Popped up by Zambrano. Over near the home dugout. And just back out of play. Mentioned his slugging, .533 for Zambrano, and his batting average at .300. Suppose he could mix in a walk here and there, but we'll take it.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that one.
Yeah. Past the pitcher. And Giles just gets the hustling Zambrano. Great effort by Zambrano. The only thing that concerns you a little bit is what happened to Aramis Ramirez. That final step, he really stretched out, but fortunately he's fine.
Zambrano going hard out of the batter's box. And so close there at first base. That last step is the one you're talking about there, but Zambrano has some flex in his knee and doesn't hyperextend the same way Ramirez did when he hit the bag. Gotta love that hustle.
First time through the order for Chris Young. 2 walks, no hits. Fouled away by Alfonso. That's high, 1-1. Right on front of the plate. That's a fair ball, and the tag applied. Soriano did not move out of the box. That ball went right in front of home plate. It was fair, and good play by Rob Bone. He just picked it up and tagged the batter.
Yeah, it just stays right there for him. Probably about the only thing Soriano could do in that situation is start to jump up and down and act like the ball hit you in the foot and hope you get a foul call from the home plate umpire. But it'd be tough to do on that one. That ball bounced directly in front of home plate and stayed right there in front of home plate.
Now, if he had just run directly to first out of the box, that ball probably does hit him. And then it's up to the umpire to determine if the ball was still fair or not. Unless you jump over it.
That's about the shortest distance you can hit a baseball making out right there. When you think about it, that ball was probably 6 inches in front of home plate. Anytime you have a 2 unassisted, you know the ball wasn't hit very far.
A foul by PA, 1-2. Well, we talked about the shifting wind throughout the morning. We started with a northwest wind, and it now seems to be coming out of the east. And on the hands, and another foul. We've talked also about the patience for Felix PA, and the Cubs are walking. They have drawn 54 walks, including the 2 today, in the month of June. They came in tied for first in the National League this month. Well, that's good to see. Another 1-2 pitch. Another foul. Hope everybody's okay. PA surviving against Young. Well, the fans in the ballpark are not watching us, but if they were listening, we would tell them all to pay attention during this at bat, because Felix PA continues to spray foul balls all over the yard. Called strike 3. Slow curve, and Everett gave him the call, and Young wins that battle. Been the starting pitcher so far.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Halt! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
And now, here are today's midday winning lottery numbers.
late nights on Superstation WGN.
One strike on Termel Sledge. He has been a platoon player and not getting a lot of chances against lefties. He is 0 for 20 versus lefties. And when you think about their order today, Sledge, Gonzalez, Branyan, back-to-back-to-back lefties. It will help Lou Piniella match up a little bit later on. Now, Kevin Kuzminoff has a lower back sprain. Mike Cameron would be available, and then the 3 switch hitters, although Josh Bard a little bit under the weather. So not as many options for Bud Black as he might normally have. Kuzminoff might be able to give him in the back, but I think they'll try to stay away from him. Called strike 3, and Sledge is out to start the 4th. Tomorrow is Sharpie Day at Wrigley Field. Watch the Cubs take on the San Diego Padres at 1:20. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Sharpie marker. And as Bob says, Sharpie, you do it.
Right out loud.
Thank you. I can't do it justice. Alex Brown, defensive end for the Chicago Bears, in attendance. So Chris Duhon of the Bulls here for game 1. Well, he went to Florida, so I'm sure the weather, no big deal for him.
Feels right at home.
Yeah, like that in Gainesville.
You know, Len, I talk all the time about a catcher who can make a pitch look better than it really is. Watch as Coy Hill gets his glove outside of this pitch and then pushes back toward the middle of the strike zone as he receives it. That's what I'm talking about when a catcher can make a pitch look better than it really is. The movement of his glove was back toward the middle of the plate as he was receiving that pitch. If he was tracking the movement of the pitch, he would end up taking it off the corner and probably would not have gotten the call. No question on that one. Just make sure you catch it.
Yep.
High fastball blows it right by Gonzalez.
That ball is not technically rising, but it certainly looks like that to the hitter. Ground ball is foul outside of first. Well, I just saw the fan who got hit by one of the fouls off the bat at Felix PA walking off under her own strength, which is good news. And I talked about paying attention. I also should add, sometimes it doesn't even matter. You can be paying attention, and you just don't have a lot of time. This one is fair, and it'll go 3-1. Zambrano and Young dominating early on. 3.5 in the books. 0-0.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going and going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avodart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avodart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avodart.
Hey, don't forget, tomorrow is Father's Day. Give your dad the opportunity to play catch in the outfield, run the bases, or relax in the dugouts of beautiful Wrigley Field. The Hey Dad Want to Have a Catch event is presented by Motorola and will be held Saturday, June 23rd. A limited number of tickets are still available. Go to Cubs.com. All proceeds benefit Cubs Care. A walk for Derrek Lee in the first inning. Sometimes hard to know if it's gone, but I guess if you keep your hands back, as you heard in the open tease, keep your hands to yourself, you should be fine. Great song by the Georgia Satellites. Well, if he catches it, it's gone. We know that. Looked like Gary Gaetti out there.
Playing a real deep third base.
By the way, tonight is Project 3000 night at Smokies Park for AA Tennessee's game against West 10. We'll have a silent auction and a raffle. All the proceeds will benefit Project 3000, which was started by Derrek Lee in the fight against Labor's congenital amaurosis. Michael Barrett makes contributions for every home run he hits. Ryan Dempster for every save he notches. Oh, Derrek got hit by a pitch. Might have been the wrist area, as he'll take first base. Conversation now between Everett and the catcher Bowen, and Bud Black's going to come out. Lou Piniella a few steps out. Derrek Lee having a conversation with Chris Young. Oh no, here we go. Derrek Lee and Chris Young. And now Lou Piniella getting in the middle here, trying to keep the peace. Oh man. We got a big pileup. Now everybody's out. Both bullpens have emptied, and some chaos behind home plate. Carlos Zambrano got in the middle of it. Mike Quaddy has him. He lost his belt, and boy, this could get really ugly. I don't know how many, if any, punches landed, but there were some vicious ones thrown by Chris Young and Derrek Lee.
Boy, needless to say, very out of character for both of those guys. Normally very low-key, very competitive, but very low-key. Derrek Lee took exception to that ball being thrown up near his head. Not sure what was said as Derrek started down the first baseline. I'm not sure where in the heck Mike Everett was. Home plate umpire's job when something like that happens is to try to get out there between the two guys and not let it get to the point of physical contact. Yeah, you're right. There were some wild haymakers being thrown there for a few minutes. Get another look at this pitch. This is a guy that rarely walks a hitter. There's one right up underneath the chin of Derrek Lee. Derrek trying to compose himself as he gets his helmet and gets ready to head down to first base.
I'll tell you one thing right now. I know we're doing the Cubs broadcast, but I give Marcus Giles a lot of credit. Instead of going after one of the Cubs, he tried to tackle his own pitcher. You saw Lou Piniella doing the same thing, trying to stay in between Derrek Lee and the Padres. And unfortunately, it did not escalate much after that, although there was a big pile, and once you have 10, 12 bodies out there, it's really hard to tell what's going on, and this is going to take a while to sort out. We'll clearly have some ejections. Yeah, I've never seen Derrek that upset.
The thing you worry about, Len, and I've been involved in a lot of those situations throughout the course of my playing career, is once you do get caught down on the bottom of that pile, it's not unusual to get spiked, to get cleated, get scratched. You definitely need peacemakers, and you're right about Marcus Giles trying to get his own pitcher out of there. Lou Piniella trying to get between Derrek Lee and anybody else out there, just trying to stop the craziness before it got carried away.
And the Cubs will face some more suspensions. There's no doubt about that. Derrek Lee, I'm sure, has been kicked out, and Lou Piniella in the middle here, and yeah, most of them are trying to just separate Lee and Young.
Yeah, Lou
ended up down,
tripped up. Yeah, fell over the pile there, ended up on his back. Well, Jerry Davis, the crew chief, trying to sort it all out. He'll go talk to Padres manager Bud Black and let him know exactly what's going on as far as ejections or warnings at this point. But Chris Young is still out there on the pitcher's mound, at least right now. Bud Black with his hat off, trying to plead his case.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, let's just get down to the bottom line. When your ace pitcher says, I would drill the next guy in the ribs, and it's in the paper, you've set up a situation where your next starter, if he hits somebody, and he hit the star player in an area where he broke his wrist last year, this is going to happen. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. And it was kind of surprising, and we weren't told that there were any warnings issued before the ball game today, but when people publicly say to the print media, what they plan to do if something like that happens again, there's going to be a carryover value. It's not unusual to see a pregame warning when things have been said in the paper.
I mean, we can debate the merits of what Soriano did and what he didn't do, but Jake Peavy said, essentially, if I'm on the mound right there, if he shows me up like that, I like the next guy to take one in the stinking ribs. We talked about it in the open. We waited until the fourth inning. We don't know at Chris Young if he had any intent at all, but the Cubs' best player got hit up and in. And Chris Young is done. I mean, Ted Lilly got ejected in the first inning after 10 pitches in Atlanta, and there was no debate. So what's the debate here? And the umpire's making that decision, and Bud Black is not happy.
Well, and of course, moving forward at some point in this ball game, I'm sure warnings have been issued now. And if a pitch gets away from somebody inside, you never know what might happen from this point on. There could be more ejections, more suspensions, and because of some of the bad blood and some of the hot tempers I saw out there on the field, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't clear them again in this ball game.
Carlos Zambrano is fired up in the dugout. By the way, there are no hits in this ball game. Two walks by Young and a hit batter. Carlos has walked one. And we're going to see a left-hander, Justin Hampson, who will get as much time as he needs. What it comes down to is if you're going to drill somebody, the consequences are there may be a fight and a few ejections, and that's exactly what happened. Now, the unfortunate thing from the Cubs' perspective is they're going to lose Derrek Lee for a while, and already without Ramirez on the disabled list.
Unfortunately, it's tough to defend what Derrek Lee did. I mean, you know, certainly you can understand his being upset at that pitch in the area where it was.
I hope he's okay, by the way.
Very near the head. Might have caught him on the back of that left wrist. And as I said, you can understand being upset. These are very competitive guys, and that head area is a no-no. Words were exchanged, and you know, right there, once Derrek stopped, that's where he's going to be held to blame. Barrett also in the middle there, trying to keep Derrek Lee from any further contact with any of the Padres there. A lot of peacemakers. And I'll tell you, Lennon, those bench clearers like that, the thing you have to be careful for are the Johnny-come-latelys. Say, you know, the guys square off, they grab each other like hockey players, you know, trying to keep other players out of the fight. But every now and then you'll get a cheap shot artist that'll come in late, throwing haymakers from behind, and you know, that's why the bench is clear. People say, well, why does everybody run out there? It looks so stupid. They're all out there dancing around. Well, what happens is you want to protect your teammates who are vulnerable, guys that are locked up with somebody from the other team. They can't see what's coming from behind them. And that's why the bench is clear more than any other reason, is to make sure those cheap shot artists that get in there late don't do any damage.
Somebody lost their sunglasses, and Jock Jones and Padres first base coach Bobby Meacham trying to sort that out. Well, now Bud Black wants another explanation. Now, we've been through this before, so, you know, they'll review the tape. We still are waiting to hear who's been ejected. Derrek obviously has. Cesar Torres is going to pinch run. And I think we'll see DeRosa probably go over and play first base. Today's Saturday. I guess it's possible tomorrow, maybe Monday, decisions would be handed down, and assuming Derrek is suspended, he can appeal it. So it's not as if they're going to lose him this week, but at some point they will be without their first baseman.
Yeah, see, this is what I don't understand, where the home plate umpire was at this point.
You know what? He was talking to Rob Bowen. Looked like they were having a heated discussion at the plate. You're right. Somebody's got to be out there between those two guys before it ever starts.
I mean, Everett does get there late and push Derrek Lee out of the fray, but by that point, the damage had already been done. And once those two guys square up, even before a pitch was thrown, or rather a punch was thrown, once they squared up there face to face, you knew something bad was going to happen. The benches started to clear, and only then did the home plate umpire get involved.
So to this point, we know for sure that Chris Young and Derrek Lee have been ejected. And we saw that conversation about, what, 10 times in Atlanta?
Down in Atlanta.
Grounds crew is picking up some debris out on the warning track, and there's a little slip on the way out by one of the members. Well, we ready to get back to baseball?
Derrek grabbed his helmet, started walking down the first baseline, and there's the home plate umpire. I don't know what he's talking to Rob Bowen about, but you've got to anticipate that there could be some possible bad blood right there. A pitch thrown up near the head. You got the pitcher standing out in front of the mound. The guy who was just drilled walking down the first baseline. You can see Marcus Giles streaking in from the back of your picture there, trying to get there quickly enough to break it up.
Cubs hitting coach Gerald Perry and Padres pitcher Jake Peavy also ejected. So Cesar Torres pinch running. Swing and a miss by Cliff Floyd. Justin Hampson is a new pitcher.
Hampson, the only lefty that is available out of the Padres bullpen, really doesn't make much difference. They have a lot of right-handed pitchers who are very effective against left-handed hitting, but Hampson, the only left-handed pitcher out of that bullpen.
So when Torres plays defense, what you might see is him at short. Terrio could move over to third and DeRosa to first. Cesar also can play third base if that's how Lou Piniella chooses to play it, although Cesar would probably be rated higher defensively at short than Terrio. Swing and a miss by Floyd.
Boy, DeRosa's done such an outstanding job at third base. You hate to move him off the hot corner, but he's the most logical candidate to move across and play first base.
I'm not so sure anybody's going to be calling this team the Cubbies anymore this year. They're going to go to second for one and back to first. It goes 3-6-3, started and finished by Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, when he said it, I'm sure Lou wasn't advocating that the Cubs get in a lot of fights with the opposing team, but you know, after the Zambrano-Barrett dust-up, he said, yeah, I'd like to see my guys fight against the other team. I don't think he meant it literally go out and fight the other team, but, you know, go to battle every day. You're trying to beat that other team, not each other.
I also want you to answer this. I know you've been hit by pitches before. You have the circumstances there, but when it comes up and in like that, it's very emotional, isn't it? Number one, it hurts a lot. And when it goes anywhere near your head, or in the case of Derrek Lee, remember, had the broken wrist last year, you're not thinking straight at that moment.
Oh, no, not at all.
DeRosa shoots it into the gap. That's the first hit of the afternoon. And we don't know what was said, Bob, but the other thing is, if they were upset at Soriano, why are they hitting Derrek Lee?
Mark DeRosa golfing looked like a cut fastball down and into that gap in left center field. Well, you just hope that all the tension, all the aggression, all the adrenaline that's flowing right now can be funneled and used and focused in a positive way. Push some runs across, give Zambrano a lead when he goes back out there to take the mound.
Yeah, you would like a nice long two-out rally here just to give Carlos a few more seconds.
And like I said, Len, the thing that really throws a red flag up is it's a guy who's considered to be a control pitcher. Chris Young doesn't walk a lot of batters. He's a two-pitch guy, throws that high fastball we've talked about, but you just don't expect him to go up near the head area on an opposing hitter. It was the fourth batter that Chris Young has hit this season in over 80 innings of work.
Now, this is a guy at the plate who's come up with all these big hits. Swinging bunt. Hampson will spin and throw out Fontenot. The wild weekend in the, quote, friendly confines continues. Benches cleared. 4 ejections, and we're still scoreless.
Hey, Joe, if you could have a beer with anybody, who would it be?
Anybody?
Anybody.
Be the guy that took me to my first ball game. A guy who could command a room from 100 miles away. Popular, but humble. People love the way he spoke. I just love the way he listened. Here's to you, Dad.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Wait, DQ put the cone in the soft serve? Yet they can't give me a face. Oh, the irony. The new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard Treat at Dairy Queen. With crunchy waffle cone pieces, caramel, and chocolate chunks. Do one.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
So, just as we thought, is Torres playing short. Terrio moving over to third. And DeRosa across the diamond to play first base. In between innings, home plate umpire Mike Everett out to tell Carlos Zambrano, I'm sure, that warnings have been issued. And you know the deal.
Well, and it was as if it weren't enough for the home plate umpire to come out and talk to Carlos. Coy Hill spent a long time on the mound after the warm-up pitches were thrown. Very animated in his conversation with Zambrano. I'm sure he was just trying to convince him, hey, you've got a job to do here. Let's focus on what we have to do. Mike Quade and Ivan De Jesus making sure Carlos doesn't get involved any further.
Yeah, my first game became my first brawl as Cliff Floyd makes a catch.
You know, the former player in me says, should have squeezed one through Khalil Green's ear flap right there. You know, you're going to throw at my superstar player. I'm going to throw at the first guy that comes up to the plate, and if the bench is clear again and we get guys suspended, to heck with it. Let's go. But after spending some time as a manager and now as a broadcaster up here in the booth, there's really no useful purpose to be served by doing that. But from being a competitor in uniform down on the field, sometimes those emotions are hard to keep in check. And even though warnings have been issued, and even though you want to stay in the ball game, a part of you is saying, man, I'd like to drill somebody right here.
And that's where Coy Hill and Larry Rothschild and Lou Piniella come in, right?
Right.
Saying, look, Carlos, you know, we're already going to lose our first baseman. Terrio couldn't handle it. Boca Chica is on. He's going to try for second. Here comes a throw. He's in. It's an error on Terrio. So the Padres still without a hit. They have their second base runner, a walk in the first, and now an error. A two-base defensive miscue. And the first time they've had a runner in scoring position.
And of course, you move a guy to a different position, he's going to get a tough two-hopper. That one just stayed down under the glove of Ryan Terrio on into left field. Give Boca Chica credit for hustling out of the batter's box and turning what appeared to be a 5-3 out into a two-base error. Gets himself into scoring position with one out in the inning.
This is not the first time these two teams have gone toe-to-toe. Andre Dawson and Eric Schau 20 years ago.
Yeah, that was scary. Andre, I remember seeing that one. Took one to the head, was down for quite some time.
The Hawk, who won the MVP in 1987. Now, I believe it was Jeff Blum and Mike Cameron right at the very end. They just kind of trickled out from the dugout. Oh, a good 2 or 3 minutes after it started. It's possible those guys were in the clubhouse, and they just simply had a long way to go to get out.
I think you're exactly right. It's a long hike up to that visitors clubhouse here at Wrigley Field. If you saw our podcast a couple weeks ago, you need to pack a lunch for that hike. And those guys were very tardy getting out here to the bench clearer, and probably were out of breath when they did get there.
In that game we were talking about in '87, rookie Greg Maddux would go on to hit Benito Santiago in the aftermath of the Shao Dawson dust up. Headley's on with a walk. And it's Rob Bowen. There's Mike Cameron getting the day off, and a little scrape there on the left forearm.
I'm telling you, some of these guys are going to wake up tomorrow morning wondering where those bruises came from. I mean, you get caught up in the bottom of those piles, and whether you're trying to be a peacemaker or whether you're an agitator, if you're in the middle there and bodies are pushing back and forth and cleats are flying and elbows and knees are flying, and you wake up the next day, you got bruises all over your body and you don't even know how you got them.
You know, John Mabry may not have been right again all year last year.
I think you're right.
After the South Side battle, and he got run over. This is a big inning for Zambrano. After the fight in the bottom of the fourth inning, a one-out error, then a walk here in the fifth. The riot. Used to be just about Ryan Theriot, but I'm describing what happened in the fourth. 3-1. The pitcher Hampson is on deck. Now Bud Black could think about pinch hitting, but still have a long way to go. And a short bench. We didn't really see if Jake Peavy did anything. He must have done something because he was ejected, and you wonder if there's a fine and maybe a suspension for him because he got involved late. Bowen walks, and Larry Rothschild's going to head out.
To tell you, Len, I'm a little surprised that manager Bud Bell doesn't go to a pinch hitter in this situation against, or Bud Black, I'm sorry. You're not sure how many opportunities you're going to get to score against Carlos Zambrano, and as good as the Cubs bullpen has been recently, I've always been of the mind you take your shot wherever it is. Short bench or not, this may be the last opportunity the Padres have to push across a run against a real good pitcher who's been on top of his game lately. But he's going to allow the pitcher to take the at-bat right here. Of course, you know, once again, the manager knows his ball club a lot better than we do sitting up here in the press box. He knows who he has available out of the bullpen today, how many pitches he thinks he can get out of each one of his relievers. And with Greg Maddux pitching tomorrow, a guy that generally doesn't work deep into ball games, usually 5 or 6 innings, sometimes 7 depending on pitch count. You have to keep that in mind as well. You're going to need some relief pitching probably tomorrow.
Ground ball, not hit very hard. They try to turn 2, and they do. Cesar Torres goes 6-3 to get Zambrano out of the inning. No hits in the inning. An error, 2 walks, 2 left. Bottom 5 coming up.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice. A clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polisher wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Ice is so advanced, you can use it in the hot sun with outstanding results. Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with the salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Sometimes all you need is Advance Auto Parts. Now through June 30th, all air filters are 25% off. Save gas, save money, breathe easier. We're ready in Advance.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
24, Saturdays at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer boxing baseball station, is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth
it. The heat has been turned up. Cubs hosting the Padres.
In this corner.
Our graphics department has it covered.
Yeah, it's an amazing phenomenon, Len. It happens every baseball season when the weather starts to heat up and teams are kind of starting to find their level in their own divisions, and individuals maybe not happy with the way their season has started, teams not happy with the way things are going. As soon as that weather starts to heat up, the nerves get a little raw, things get a little edgy, and we've seen it all around baseball over the last couple of weeks.
And at the time, the only hits were the punches thrown. The Cubs finally got on that board as DeRosa doubled in the fourth inning. So they had the only hit. Ryan Theriot began at short, now playing third base, and I'm sure he gave his teammate Cesar Izturis a little pat on the back after that double play to help him get out of that inning after that two-base error. Theriot shoots it down the right field line. And a slip there by Sledge. And Theriot's at second base. It's a double.
Very fortunate bounce there for the Padres. Theriot lining that ball down in the right field corner. We've seen him do this a lot here at Wrigley Field this season. Sledge gets over there and just tries to knock the ball down. He bangs it up against the side wall, and it comes right back to him. If that ball gets by down in the corner, Ryan Theriot is easily on third base.
Ball one on Coy Hill.
Coy Hill with a job to do right here. Find a way to move Theriot to third base. You would assume he's going to try to inside out a pitch with a ground ball or a deep fly ball to the right side. The Padre middle infielders are giving Ryan Theriot a lot of room out there at second base. Khalil Green now moving in a couple of steps closer. Marcus Giles is way over toward the hole between first and second. Now Green will slide in behind Ryan Theriot a little bit. Hampson is very slow in his delivery to home plate. You wouldn't think Ryan would try with nobody out in the inning, but could Coy Hill be retired and not advance Theriot to third base at that point? Ryan has to start thinking about getting a good secondary lead, get a good primary lead rather, and try to steal that base.
Coy did not like that call. Breaking ball just caught the outside corner to make it 2 balls, 2 strikes. The backdoor breaker.
Yeah, that pitch is never in the strike zone. Bowen catches it just off the outside corner, and it was a breaking ball that started in the left-handed batter's box. That one never did get to the zone.
There goes Theriot. Called strike 3. Safe at third, so Hill strikes out. Theriot, the theft of third base, is 12th of the year, and Zambrano will bat with a man just 90 feet away.
Ryan Theriot was out there long enough to get a good read on Hampson's move from our Southwest RoboCam. The high throw from Bowen. Nice play by Headley to keep that ball from going into left field. Ryan Theriot immediately looked to his left to see if that ball perhaps got by the third baseman. Carlos Zambrano with an opportunity to drive home a run here.
4 RBIs on the year. The infield drawn in. Big swing. Now with Coy Hill at the plate in that spot with 2 strikes, do you have any time to think about, okay, I see the guy running, and if I swing, I could hit into a double play? Is that too much to go through your mind?
Well, good players, they do think that quickly. It's tough to take a called third strike and allow that guy to steal the bag at third, but I think more so Coy Hill was perhaps distracted a little bit by Theriot trying to steal third base there.
Popped up by Zambrano. And it's going to be caught by Boca Chica. Here comes a throw toward the plate. Pretty good one. And he got him. Here on Boca Chica, nailing Ryan Theriot at home plate, keeping it a scoreless tie. Bowen able to hang on and bracing for a little bit of a collision, although Theriot was trying to slide around him. We're still scoreless.
Tonight on WGN, Tony and the Sox look to light a fire in the Steel City against Freddie Sanchez and the Pirates. Tonight at 7 on WGN.
And now, here are today's midday winning lottery numbers.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther with more than 90 daily flights from Chicago Midway to these cities.
You are now free to move about the country.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
Humor is very important to us. We both love to laugh. I find that I make her laugh even when I'm not trying to. It was just truly amazing how I connected with her.
I think all that is a credit to eHarmony matching us well.
Absolutely.
Find that one person that is going to appreciate you and love you passionately for who you really are.
I was in awe of this woman from day one.
Find everything you're looking for on eHarmony.com. Log on today.
Ryan Theriot trying to score on a shallow fly ball to right center field. I think the Cubs were hoping there would be some confusion there between Sledge and Boca Chica, allowing Theriot to come on home and score, but at the last instant, Boca Chica called off the right fielder, made the catch, and a strong, accurate throw to home plate just in time to get Ryan Theriot.
So we play on in the 6th inning. Top of the lineup, Marcus Giles. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Giles and Lou Piniella were 2 of the first men on the scene after the original fight between Lee and Young, and both were peacemakers, Giles and Piniella.
And you know that when the bench is clear like that, obviously the guys who are throwing fists are going to be spotted quickly by the umpires and ejected from the ball game and possibly subject to further punishment somewhere down the road. But those guys that come off the bench, even if you're out there jawing in a provocative manner, you're talking smack to the other team, threatening to do something, that is grounds for an ejection as well. You know, if you're going to be out there on the field when something like that starts, you're expected to be a peacemaker.
Maybe the second error of the last 2 innings. And another 2-base job. And E3. Time now for our Honda Civic Games summary. If you just joined us, things got out of control in the 4th inning. Derrek Lee got hit by a pitch up and in as he was walking to first base. And the umpire was chatting with the catcher. He got into a conversation with Chris Young, and eventually punches were thrown. The benches would clear. 4 members of these 2 teams would be thrown out. Lee, Young, Gerald Perry, and Jake Peavy. And one of the defensive results is that the infield alignment has been changed here. Ryan Theriot playing third, Mark DeRosa going from third to first, and each with an error the last 2 innings. Sledge squaring and taking it outside. 1-1.
You know, Len, we joke about it all the time, but it seems to be so true in the game of baseball. Hey, if you play a guy out of position or move him to a new position during the course of a game, inevitably that ball is going to find him. Theriot and DeRosa both very sure-handed infielders, but playing positions that they didn't start the ball game at.
Sledge moves the runner with a ground out. As we check in on the Honda Civic Games summary, Lou Piniella, by the way, is heading out to chat with Carlos Zambrano. The ejections today, 2 each. Padres have walked but haven't gotten on via the hit. The Cubs have helped them with 2 errors. They've got the boxing gloves included as well. Hit performance and save gas. Check out a new Honda Civic today.
Good conversation there with Lou Piniella and his entire infield. They may have been talking to Carlos about whether he would like to walk Adrian Gonzalez, who is by far the best hitter the Padres have right now. Go after Russell Brandon with an opportunity to maybe turn a double play. The only problem with that is Brandon has not hit into a double play all season. He's more of a strikeout fly ball type hitter. Doesn't really hit a lot of ground balls.
The kick and the pitch. 2-0.
Once again, Carlos reminding himself about his mechanics there. Got his elbow down underneath that pitch a little bit. Cut fastball that just sailed high. It's a much more effective pitch when he can keep his arm up at a little higher angle. I think they're going to go ahead and put him on first intentionally now after falling behind 3-0.
Well, there aren't too many number 3 hitters in the game that you're going to work around and get to a 3-0, maybe back to a 3-1, and then have them chase. A smart move here. They just intentionally walking. Monday, June 25th is Bally Technologies Day at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs take on the Colorado Rockies at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans will receive a CD of the new Hot Shot Progressive Slot Machine game. Play at home for fun and free. Compliments of Chicago-born Bally Technologies. There's a double play ball. The spin by Fontenot. They turn it. Well, you're right, Bob. That's rare. Branyan normally strikes out or hits fly balls when he makes outs. But the sinker gets the grounder. Cubs coming up in the 6th.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
Messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Like I said, we live in a society where the individual ego and the group dynamic are in constant struggle.
Response?
Yeah, I have a response. What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Nobody said this was going to be easy.
Now, see, if Geico.com had taken that approach, instead of telling everyone it's so easy a caveman can do it, I wouldn't be having an existential meltdown right now.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
Simon goes too far.
What do you know about judging a talent competition?
Come on, you want to do something about it? American Idol Rewind. Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
How about the double play ball? Carlos has gotten a couple of huge ones the last 2 innings. Padres with no hits, but again, they've had their chances. The walks, they've walked 4 times. 2 errors in the 5th and the 6th, 1 each. But still no runs for them. The Cubs trying to get on the board first. Top of the order, it's Alfonso Soriano. Popped up right side.
Just a tailor-made double play ball. As we talked about, you don't anticipate it off the bat of Russell Branyan, but he hits a hard ground ball right to Fontenot at second base. Just what the doctor ordered. Fontenot with a little bit of a backspin that allows him to get more on that throw to second base to give his tourist time not only to get to the bag, but avoid the sliding runner and complete that relay on to DeRosa.
That's the other part of the defensive changes. Not only do you put Terrio at third and DeRosa at first, maybe not their best defensive spots, but you change up the rhythm in the middle of the infield. But those 2 guys have worked well together here in the last 2 innings. Now the first double play was just 6-3. And that last one 4-6-3. Trying to work the count, 2-0. Swing and a miss. Bob, when I was hired, I was told it will never be boring.
They didn't lie, did they?
Cubs playing maybe their best baseball of the year. They're still 4 games under 500, but 4-1 to start this homestand. And as you said, you never advocate fighting, but at least the Cubs are directing their ire at the other team. And since everything got crazy 2 weekends ago, Cubs have won 9 of their last 13.
And certainly, you know, the fights in the dugout and all the other distractions we had going on that third base side of the field are not the reason that the Cubs are playing better. But because if that's all it took, then, you know, every manager would just let his players beat up on each other.
Termel Sledge calls it in. Hey, music fans, the Goo Goo Dolls are coming to the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island on August 23rd with special guest Lifehouse, part of the Bud Light concert series. Tickets are on sale now. Go check out Johnny Resnick and the boys. For tickets, visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster 312-559-1212. Bud Light and live music, always worth it. Also check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. You can check out the Padres comments by Alfonso Soriano yesterday. You can add your own if you'd like. Game notes from our friends at StatSync. John Mahoney singing The Stretch during Game 1. Just click on the link for Len and Bob's blog, WGNTV.com. Here's Torres with a game-winning hit earlier this week against Seattle. As Torres came on as a pinch runner after Derrek Lee was ejected following him getting hit by that pitch. It set everybody off. Strike 3 as Hampson has done a nice job since coming in. 0-0. We'll go to the 7th inning. Hang with us.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
How long is this gonna last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light. I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and now pronounce you husband and wife, you may kiss the bride.
And away we go. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you? 100, 100 quarter, 100 and a half, 1 7 divide 200, now 200 quarter.
That's cold.
Halt! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
I loved it.
Simon's got his good days.
I think you are a star.
You know, I'm very shocked that you're saying all these nice things.
This isn't one of them.
I'm fed up with it. It wasn't good enough. It has nothing to do with talent. And you sort of sold out there. They are losers and they do not deserve to be in this competition.
You keep insulting these people. You can't call people losers.
I can call them whatever I like.
Come on, you want to do something about it?
Well,
Come on.
American Idol Rewind. Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Well, this could be a special day as Carlos Zambrano continuing to dominate the San Diego Padres. And he's been able to get out of a couple of jams the last 2 innings. 2 two-base errors, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, but he was able to work around them. pitch to Khalil Green inside. He has lined to first and has flied to right. Pop fly near Felix, PA. One out in the 7th. Going into the inning, Carlos was 77 pitches, 48 strikes. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld will handle our 7th inning stretch today. She went to Northwestern.
Yada.
And I drove past Northwestern's campus yesterday, and it was graduation day. Julia gave the commencement speech at her alma mater. Right-hander Heath Bell is up for the Padres. They've gotten great work from Justin Hampson after Chris Young was thrown out in the 4th. Big swing by Boca Chica, who's made the biggest play of the day. As the Cubs tried to get the lead, he threw out Ryan Terrio at the plate on a fly ball hit by Zambrano. It ended up being an 8-2 double play. And considering who he's replacing in the lineup today, a 3-time Gold Glover Mike Cameron, it's even a bigger play. Moved his feet. 2-2.
A sinker down and in. Just able to get that back leg out of the way is Boca Chica.
Zambrano off the mound. Bare hand. The throw. He got him. What a play. He didn't look like he was in control, but he was. He fired a strike to Mark DeRosa. Bud Black is out, and he is very upset. Chatting with Paul Nart.
This is about as good a play as you'll ever see a pitcher make. Number one, to get to this ball, and then watch the angle that Carlos is in as he makes that throw back across his body. His feet aren't even on the ground. Not sure what Bud Black is arguing about there. I'm not so sure any of the Cubs left side infielders would have been able to make this play. Carlos does it all by himself, makes a good throw, and gets the out.
One strike on Headley. Little outside. 96 on the heat from Carlos Zambrano. Big numbers for Headley at Double-A. Outside. Point if Zambrano doesn't get Boca Chica, they're giving him an infield single. Fouled away. It's 2-2. This huge crowd getting up. Struck him out. 7th inning stretch time.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, actress and comedian Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Hey, Cubs fans! Help me out! I can't do it by myself! A 1, a 2, a 3! Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and crackers.
Yo, I got an idea.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? Carol serves the salad, the breadsticks in the middle, and the soups as different as we are.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Next 24, a lethal new disease is for sale.
Hector and Ramon are trying to buy a virus to use as a weapon.
And Jack goes undercover to buy it.
I cannot allow this virus to get into the wrong hands. Millions of people could die.
Suddenly, Jack finds he has competition.
Another buyer's interested in the virus.
An old enemy.
She killed my wife.
Ready for a new fight.
Whatever he's told you, he's lying.
What do I have to do to prove to you I'm on your side?
Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Boy, Bob, in games like this, you see maybe one or two huge defensive plays. Well, Carlos Zambrano with one of those plays, and then he strikes out Headley to end the 7th inning. So the Cubs still trying to get the lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, I tell you, Len, in all of baseball, there's probably only a couple of pitchers that can even think about making that kind of a play, and Carlos is one of them. He's such a great athlete, able to throw off balance back across his body, almost blindly make the throw to first base and put it right on the money.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is with us. Great job with our stretch today, and you can feel the energy in this ballpark, can't you?
Boy, no kidding. That was something. Everybody turning up. I couldn't believe it. That was really amazing. So touching.
And good advice. Play nice.
Yeah, play nice, right? That freaked me out, that fight. I got scared.
Now, on the back of your jersey, it says Hall. Your husband's Brad Hall.
Yes.
And you met at Northwestern, correct?
We did. We met at Northwestern, and our two boys, Henry and Charlie, are here, loving the game.
Busted bat pop-up on the left side into the outfield grass is Headley as he makes a catch. Let's check out your first pitch.
Uh-oh.
Were you nervous?
Terrified. Oh, that was so awful.
Well, you got it there in the air. That's the bottom line. Now, which son is that?
That's my younger son, Charlie.
Charlie, okay.
Yeah, it was really exciting to be there. Really fun.
And Bud Black going out to the home plate umpire. And we're going to have a pitching change. So that'll be it for the pitcher. Can you hang for 2 more minutes with us?
Yeah.
We would appreciate it. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, we'll be right back.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Russell Branyan goes from left to third. And Termel Sledge now from right to left. Jose Cruz comes into the ballgame to play right. And the new pitcher is going to be right-hander Heath Bell. Julia Louis-Dreyfus helped me figure all out the defensive changes here. I really appreciate that.
Listen, I do what I can.
Yes. Now, you won an Emmy for The New Adventures of Old Christine. Tell us about the show.
Yeah, well, we're coming back, and it's a fantastic show to work on CBS. I don't know, I feel blessed, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, it's so great to see you, and Seinfeld's on everywhere. Do you go out of your way to watch it? if
no,
you're at home?
I do not. That's like looking through a high school yearbook.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when my kids are watching it, sometimes I'll check it out, and it still makes me laugh. There's no doubt.
One of the great shows of all time. Well, Julia, thanks so much for the time. We're going to let you enjoy the rest of the day today, and
Thank you.
we hope to see you back here real soon.
Thank you for having me. It's a delight.
Thanks, Julia.
Thank you.
That's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who went to Northwestern. And great to have her at Wrigley Field today. They want that pitch up, and it is up and a little out of the strike zone. The kick in, the 1-2. Bouncer, diving stop. Adrian Gonzalez, bell covering first. Jerry Coleman is here calling radio for the Padres, and he would say you can hang a star on that one. Oh, doctor.
Oh, doctor. Pretty good play by Adrian Gonzalez down there at first base, ranging far to his right, and he had to because Marcus Giles was shading up the middle of the field for Mark DeRosa. Gonzalez, the only guy that could make that play, and a perfect feed to Heath Bell covering first base.
Fontenot batting. Ball one. I haven't heard if Mike has a nickname. Do his teammates call him Font? I'm not sure. We might have to ask. Do you have a favorite font? Are you a Britannic Bold or a Times Roman guy? I prefer Arial Narrow myself.
Whatever's on there when I log on, I don't care.
There's a new movie called Helvetica. It's about the typeface. It's a documentary, and the Tribune gave it 4 stars. I'd like to see it. Did you ever think a movie about typeface Helvetica could be interesting?
Well, we'll see. I'll anxiously await your review.
All right. I'm definitely going to check it out. Fans don't touch the you-know-what ball. A game-winning home run belonging to Mike Fontenot into the basket in left center.
Well, with the wind blowing the way it is right now across from right field to left field, this is a similar wind that Fontenot took advantage of yesterday, dumping that ball into the basket in left center field.
I guess that's my font. That's Arial, A-R-I-A-L. Okay. Oh, that's Helvetica. Okay, I got you. Cubs having the only hits in this ballgame, 2 of them, both doubles, DeRosa and Terrio in separate innings. Best chance. Cubs were trying to get a run in on a fly ball in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. We're going to go to the 8th. Zambrano back to the mound. Don't go anywhere.
Simon's got his good days.
I think you are a star.
This isn't one of them.
I'm fed up with it. It wasn't good enough. They are losers and they do not deserve to be in this competition.
You keep insulting these people. You can't call people losers.
I can call them whatever I like.
Come on, you want to do something about it?
American Idol Rewind. Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Okay, I've been working on this plan for 3 years, and today's the day.
Okay.
Every Friday, the same Bud Light delivery guy takes the same route past us.
Okay.
You're the only one who can make the leap.
Okay.
When I say go, you jump over, grab some Bud Light, and jump back.
Okay.
Here he comes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and go.
What'd you say?
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Seriously, what'd you say?
That's cold. Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
People call me Father. You know, they say, thank you, Father, bless me, Father. So actually, I'm not a biological father, no. But technically, the holiday is just Father's Day, so. It was the sisters. Yeah, they got it from me at Dairy Queen, so I'm eating it.
It's his day. Celebrate it with a Dairy Queen cake. Do one this Father's Day.
The line for Carlos Zambrano. He's done this before. He's gone deep into ball games. One was in Houston last year, stymieing the other team's offense. Rob Bowen leading off. Away for ball one on a fastball registering at 93. Jose Cruz Jr. is on deck. Came in as part of the double switch in the last of the seventh. Bob, we still don't know what the biggest headline is going to be in the paper tomorrow. We thought we knew. We haven't seen a run yet. And Carlos Zambrano's still on the mound. Swing and a miss, 2-2. It's a great thing about baseball.
Well, the headline writers are going to have to stay late tonight. They're going to have to wait till the end of this one.
2-2 pitch. Jammed him, and he fouled it off to the left. Scoreboard 3-2, where several members of the Cubs bullpen checked out a few days ago. 4 walks, 1 has been intentional. Cubs have committed 2 errors. Leadoff walk. And it brings up Cruz.
Talked about Jose Cruz Jr. yesterday. He has put down 5 sacrifice bunts on the season, and we also talked about the Padres not pinch hitting back in the 5th inning, and well, you could already see at that point that Carlos was on top of his game. I was really shocked the Padres didn't try to pinch hit and push across a run, but they allowed the pitcher to hit for himself. Grounds into a double play. The rest is history up to this point, but Cruz showing bunt that time on the first pitch. And I would imagine he'll continue to bunt throughout this at bat until he gets to 2 strikes.
Zambrano's trying to get through the 8th inning for the 2nd consecutive outing. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run, but it was not earned against Houston in his last outing. Popped up, and this one beyond the screen for the 2nd strike. Two. That's Marcus Giles, a leadoff man. Well, with the news yesterday that Henry Blanco had a setback, we don't know how long he's going to be out. So an extended look at Coy Hill as a Cubs backup catcher, and he has worked extremely well with the ace. 3rd time they've worked together. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 1 out. Six strikeouts for Zambrano. He has walked 5.
Well, we talk a lot about late movement. Watch the end of this pitch as the bottom just falls out. It sinks down and away from Jose Cruz Jr. He's trying to protect the plate. He thought that pitch was on the corner, and all of a sudden it just disappeared.
Well, Zambrano's biggest companion to this point has been that double play ball. And the 1-3 put out of in the 7th inning of Hiram Boca Chica. Off the glove of Zambrano. No throw, and that'll be the first hit for the San Diego Padres. Just glancing off the glove of Carlos, and the fans certainly know that the no-hit bid has been broken up. The first hit, an infield single, with 1 out in the 8th inning.
I'm not sure if the Cubs middle infielders would have been able to make a play had Carlos let this ball go through, but we know the kind of athlete Carlos is, the kind of competitor he is. He's going to try to make every play on balls hit back through the box, just to flex it enough that nobody can make a play.
So Cub killer Marcus Giles breaks up the no-no. .356 in his career against the Cubs.
You know, Len, I almost hesitate to mention it, but a lot of times when a guy carries a no-hitter this deeply into a ball game and finally does give up that first base hit, things come unraveled quickly. I mean, he's so focused. He's been concentrating on making every pitch necessary.
How about a double play ball? 4, 6, 3. Or that could happen. The third double play for Zambrano. Got to get a run here in the bottom of the 8th. Nothing.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
My country, 'tis the sweet land of liberty, of the icy.
This 4th of July, the people of Southwest Airlines join the people of the United States of America as we celebrate our independence.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring.
You are now free to celebrate your birthday, America.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Zambrano made one unbelievable defensive play earlier in the ballgame. Just couldn't snag that high bouncer off the bat of Marcus Giles' infield hit for the first hit.
3 double plays in the ballgame today. Slowly hit ball to his toes, returns it himself. Carlos very grateful for that one. Also Brandon grounding into an unlikely double play, his first of the season. And then this unbelievable play by Carlos to keep the no-hitter intact at that point. And then after giving up the infield single. A 4-6-3 double play. Pitcher's best friend.
Well, since his, quote, season started, he's allowed 3 runs in just under 23 innings. And only 2 have been earned. Two and 0 on Ryan Terrio. Zambrano's spot is due up third. Through 8, he's thrown 107. He's coming off an outing in which he threw 128 pitches, a season high. Well, he's looking for his batting helmet. And happy 30th birthday to Kerry Wood. He was throwing off flat ground yesterday, continuing his rehab. And happy birthday to Kerry Wood. Giles slings it over. Pledge your allegiance to the Cubs by becoming a founding member of the Cubs Club, the new official online fan club for the Chicago Cubs. Cubs Club members will receive benefits unavailable to other fans, including your very own 2007 membership card, MLB.com's game day audio for the 2007 regular season, and much more. To join today, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Also wanted to mention, great job, Ryan and Jenny Dempster, once again hosting families from the area whose dads are serving in Iraq or Afghanistan. They're at today's game. Hosting some families whose dads have recently returned from being deployed in those areas. They were invited out to the ballpark prior to the gates opening. They visited with Jenny and Ryan and some of Ryan's teammates, and the Dempsters treated the families to lunch at the park, some autographs as well. We might seen Ryan Dempster in this ball game. If you joined us late, we had a bench clearing brawl. Started with Derrek Lee and Chris Young throwing punches after Derrek was hit by a pitch. They were both ejected. Gerald Perry, Jake Peavy also kicked out. We'll have highlights of everything that happened today, and there was a lot following the ball game. So stay with us. It'll be the Chevy Dealers 10th inning show. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
The pitcher, number 38, Carlos Zambrano.
You know what the fans want?
Oh, yeah.
They want one big swing right here. And they get it, but he foul tipped it.
It's that old cliche we talk about all the time. Throw a shutout and hit a home run, you can't lose. So far, Carlos has been doing the first. Love to see him do the second.
The longest outing by Zambrano without giving up a hit. 7 2/3 against Arizona on August 22nd, 2003. Check swing. They're going to look, and he went around. So the Padres asked for another opinion. Brian Gorman gave them the call they wanted. And Heath Bell works a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Here comes the ninth. Zambrano back to work. Nothing.
A lethal new disease is for sale.
Hector and Ramon are trying to buy a virus to use as a weapon.
And Jack goes undercover to buy it.
I cannot allow this virus to get into the wrong hands. Millions of people could die.
Suddenly, Jack finds he has competition.
Another buyer's interested in the virus.
An old enemy. Next 24. Tonight at 11:30.
You packed your own shoots for the first time, and that's a big deal. As a surprise, I stocked the fridge in the hangar with Bud Light.
Hey, where's the Bud Light?
So let's Polo.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
That's cold.
Honey?
Well, hello.
Hello.
Look what I found.
They were made for each other. Waffles and soft serve in the new Caramel Waffle Crisp Blizzard treats at Dairy Queen with waffle pieces and chocolate chunks. Do one.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Carlos Zambrano looks like he's looking in the mirror. That's right behind home plate.
There's a little of that John Belushi eyebrow going there. One eyebrow up.
He's been terrific. You almost feel like you want to see the Padres with a runner at first, one out. He'll get another double play ball. He has now, well, he's worked a 1-2-3 inning recently in the 7th. But in the 5th, 6th, and the 8th has allowed multiple base runners. But still has been able to escape.
And Carlos throwing easy gas today. That last pitch at 96 here in the 9th inning. Just nice and easy with his delivery, not trying to overthrow. I think that's why he's getting so much movement on his off-speed pitches today.
Bob Howery has joined Will Oman. That no-hitter broken up in 03. Shea Hillenbrand called safe at first base on an infield hit. That broke it up. So another infield hit today with one out in the 8th inning. And the replay seemed to show that Hillenbrand was out. Did you think he was out?
Oh, he was way safe.
Zambrano with the catch. Way to get off the mound.
It's just remarkable to watch Carlos field his own position out there. A little broken bat floater. Once again, that's going to be a tough play for anybody on the left side of the infield there for the Cubs. So Carlos takes it on himself to get off the dirt, get back there, make a nice running catch on that little pop-up. Another good move here by Coy Hill. He's going to have Carlos take a little bit of a deep breath here to come off the mound, get out of his comfort zone there to make that catch on the pop-up. Also, it gives that bullpen a few extra pitches to throw should Lou decide to go that way.
Walked all the way from San Diego. In my sandals to see the Padres. I'm sure the dogs are barking.
Yeah, I don't need to see that guy's feet. That's all right.
Oh yeah, you're not a toes and feet guy.
No. Especially after walking all the way from San Diego. Oh, jeez. Children, look away.
97 that time. Two and two.
Sharp slider that time. Carlos wanted that pitch. Remember, it's not where the catcher catches it. It's where the pitch crosses the front of home plate.
Just off the outside corner. 3-2.
Boy, Hill once again tries to get around this pitch. Push it back toward the middle. Mike Everett, I'm guessing, called that pitch up.
Payoff pitch. Fly ball left center. It's deep. And a home run for Russell Branyan on a 3-2 after two very close pitches. Just missed the strike zone. A one-out ninth inning home run. Thought we might see a fan reach out for that one.
Not a bad pitch from Zambrano. A tumbling splitter on the outside corner down below the knees. Branyan just reached out there and poked that ball the opposite field, much like Mike Fontenot's home run yesterday. That one seemed to get up in the jet stream and just continue to carry.
Well, they did reach, but they had to reach up. His 5th home run. Only the 2nd hit for San Diego. By the way, I am seeing just a very few droplets of rain. I don't think it's going to be anything serious. Backhanded play by Fontenot. A set throw and get Khalil Green. 2 outs. Time now for our Bud Light Fan Cam. U2 with a John Lennon classic. By everybody with Boca Chica at the plate. Instant Karma from John Lennon, performed by U2. Part of a compilation of Lennon songs from various artists to benefit Amnesty International and their efforts in Darfur. Today's Bud Light Fan Cam, always worth it. It's raining harder now as Boca Chica sends it in the air, and it's caught by Fontenot. Russell Branyan with a go-ahead home run for the Padres. And it's going to be Trevor Hoffman time. The Cubs down 1. The downpour now here on the north side.
Last month, the Cubs took 2 of 3 from the Sox.
Here's a throw. Save!
Next weekend, the crosstown rivals head south, and WGN's the place to be for all 3. Game 1, Friday at 3:30, Saturday at 1, and Game 3, Sunday at 1:30. It's a 3-game weekend on WGN, your official summer baseball station.
Charlie, Henry, wake up.
Tom.
You're wasting your time sleeping when you could be texting.
Left hand on top, right hand, sending a picture message. Nothing says it like a text message.
Dad.
Text IM, Pix, and Flicks as much as you want to anyone on any network in the U.S. when you switch to the new Verizon Wireless Family Share Plan. Now buy Dad this navigation-ready LG for our lowest price ever. Verizon Wireless.
sometimes all you need is Advance Auto Parts. Now through June 30th, all air filters are 25% off. Save gas, save money, breathe easier. We're ready in Advance.
1-0 Padres. We check in on our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule, sponsored by Comcast. We'll have the finale of this series tomorrow, 1 o'clock for the leadoff man here from Wrigley Field. White Sox hosting the Florida Marlins on WCIU, 7 o'clock Central on Tuesday. We'll have the entire series next weekend as the Cubs hit the South Side. Friday's game begins at 2:30 with Showdown in the City, hosted by Rich King. Cubs and Sox baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Trevor Hoffman owns 500 career saves. He's the all-time leader. His last save, which was number 500, came on June 6th versus the Dodgers. Top of the order, dribbled foul. And how about the downpour? It's still lightly raining. The sun is out. Where's the rainbow?
I have to believe for those fans that have been sitting out in the bright sunshine in the bleachers all day, that rain probably felt pretty good.
Well, you'd hate this to be a complete game loss on a two-hitter for Carlos Zambrano. 123 pitches, 2 hits, 1 run, and a home run by Brandon. Two strikes. PA, and then his Torres due up. Hoffman has not been very busy lately. 10 days ago got his last save, only 2 appearances since. And this is his first outing in 6 days.
It's been a while since Hoffman's been out there, but you go back over his last 18 ball games leading up to today. No earned runs, only 9 base hits.
Righty's hitting 140 against him. A ground ball to short. Gloved by Khalil Green. 1 out. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Second count. Don't miss the award-winning series 24 with Kiefer Sutherland tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Felix PA with 1 out. Jock Jones now getting on deck circle for his Torres, who came in as a pinch runner for the ejected Derrek Lee in the 4th inning. 4 hits total. The Cubs with 2 doubles. The 2 big plays, Irambo Kachika nailing Ryan Terrio at the plate in the 5th, and the Russell Branyan home run. Here's Jock Jones, who's from San Diego. Let's go Cubbies. Fastball strike, 87 on the heater for the changeup artist.
Great command of the fastball, and then can throw that changeup in any count to any hitter. Tremendous arm speed. That's been his go-to pitch for years.
Back-to-back fastballs for strikes, 2 and 2.
And then we talk about it with Rich Hill all the time, how he catches hitters looking at fastballs down the middle of the plate because perhaps they're looking for the big overhand curveball. I think Trevor Hoffman gets a lot of called strikes for the same reason. Hitters are very aware of that changeup. get fooled by the fastball.
Not a good way to make a living hitting ground balls to Khalil Green. He's pretty good. A couple of pretty routine plays. 2 outs. So here's Jock Jones. It's up to him. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports is Pete Toma. Our senior director is Skip Ellison. Our associate producer, Mark Brady. The executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our studio coordinator back at WGN, Joe Pizzo, and the rest of our wonderful crew here at Wrigley Field, bringing you baseball like it ought to be. Trevor Hoffman looking for his 499th save as a Padre. First couple were as a Florida Marlin. Fly ball to left. It's slicing. It's caught by Termel Sledge. And the Padres, who lead the major leagues in earned run average, shut out the Cubs. Each team with just 2 hits. The game-winning home run in the last inning. Russell Branyan off Carlos Zambrano. Tough loss. Carlos went the distance, but takes the defeat. The final score, the Padres won, the Cubs nothing.
What's so funny? It's supposed to be a parrot, not a carrot, you moron. Listen up! 3 Bud Lights for everyone, if this doesn't leave the room.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
You know, you only need one eye patch.
That's cold.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with a salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
We talked for about 5 or 6 hours.
We talked for hours.
We talked for hours.
She's easy to talk to.
And we just sort of click.
When you're matched across 29 dimensions of compatibility, there's so much to talk about.
He's helped me put my emotions into words.
And she brings me out of my shell.
Let eHarmony help find the one who's easy for you to talk to.
I found someone that I'm able to communicate with.
I just wanted to keep talking to her more and more and more.
eHarmony.com. Log on today.
For the San Diego Padres, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 5 men left. For the Cubs, no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, 3 stranded. The Cubs are shut out for the 3rd time this year. That's the 11th shutout dealt by the San Diego pitching staff. Heath Bell, the winner in relief. Carlos Zambrano goes the distance, a complete game, but he takes a loss, 7-6, his first complete game of the year. Trevor Hoffman with his 19th save, number 501 in his career, 2:33 the time, 41,632 witnessed it. Today's Budweiser plays of the game. Bob, we're going to start with defense as the Cubs try to get the lead.
Here in Boca Chica in center field, makes the catch. Strong, accurate throw to Rob Bowen to tag out Ryan Terrio at home plate. And then Russell Branyan, we talked about his power earlier in the ball game. Cast one up into that wind, got it a couple rows up in the bleachers for the only run of the ball game.
Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment, open up a world of taste. So those are the Budweiser plays of the game, but a lot more went on. We'll have all the highlights coming up. Our next telecast of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, will be tomorrow for the series finale against the Padres, beginning with the leadoff man show at 1 o'clock. Then the pitching matchup, future Hall of Famer and former Cub Greg Maddux up against left-hander Rich Hill. Our 60th year of bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Baseball like it ought to be. We saw some extracurricular activities today. 4 ejections in the ball game, a very intense and emotional contest, and the Padres even up the series, winning 1-0. Stay tuned. The Chevy Dealers 10th inning show is coming up next.
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Bud.tv, where entertainment is always on and only on www.bud.tv. Comcast. Catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit Southwest.com today.
Another good thing about Geico is they've got, like, real live people working there 24/7. So, like, say you need to report a claim, right? A real person will be there to help you. Then you can use Geico.com to view photos of the damage, track your claim, print an estimate. You want an English muffin? They literally hand you a toasted muffin with butter and jam. Oh, it's tasty. That's a complete dramatisation, of course, but you get my point.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
I loved it.
Simon's got his good days.
I think you are a star.
You know, I'm very shocked that you're saying all these nice things.
This isn't one of them.
I'm fed up with it. It wasn't good enough. It has nothing to do with talent. And you sort of sold out there. They are losers and they do not deserve to be in this competition.
You keep insulting these people. You can't call people losers.
I can call them whatever I like.
Come on, you want to do something about it?
Well,
Come on.
American Idol Rewind. Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN. The Father's Day Big League Baseball Weekend is brought to you in part by Fast Acting Roundup.
This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show, brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers.
Well, we set it up going into the ball game. The Padres were not real happy with Alfonso Soriano after he hit the home run yesterday. And it ended up a hit batter being a big part of this ballgame. Padres win 1-0 on the home run by Russell Branyan. For Carlos Zambrano, his first complete game since 2005. He did not have one last year. It results in a loss. Boy, again, not a lot of hits today, and most of them were during the brawl.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a loss that's just going to keep on giving. You have to assume at some point in the future Derrek Lee will be suspended. Perhaps Gerald Perry, the hitting instructor. Who knows how many other guys that were involved in the fracas.
I don't think either of us was too surprised that something was going to happen at some point, but I know I was very surprised that it involved Derrek Lee, who I've never seen him that upset.
And by all reports, Chris Young, a very similar type demeanor out there on the mound, very professional in the way they go about their business. So it was quite shocking to see the way those two reacted, but very impressed with the way Carlos Zambrano reacted after the brawl. Kept his cool, kept his focus, went out and pitched an outstanding ball game.
Let's hear from one of the peacemakers, manager Lou Piniella.
Can I talk about the fight first?
You know, I don't know exactly what Young said to Lee, but whatever it was, he didn't like it very much.
Lou, did you have any concern that the home plate umpire, the first base umpire, they had a decent amount of time to try to get in between and nothing happened? Wasn't the ground just set for a fight like this?
Well, it seemed like The umpires should have been, on the field, anticipating something, because there was plenty of time in between. But again, I'm not an umpire.
Is anybody okay?
Everybody's fine. Nobody's hurt.
Did you been aware of TV's comments from yesterday?
I don't read the newspapers, so I really don't know about comments.
Did anybody ask you about him?
Nobody asked me about it.
So he said they were mad at what Soriano did yesterday when he hit his home run?
What do you want me to say about it? I don't know, ma'am. I don't know how to answer your question.
But was there any way around that you think that Derrek will probably get some kind of warning?
I don't know. Let's see what the league wants to do. I mean, they're inconsistent. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope nothing happens, but when there are fights, you probably have to expect something.
Did Derrek tell you at all what
I didn't ask him. We finished the ball game, and I was going to talk to him. I know he's okay because I did ask him that.
How about Gerald? What did he do?
I don't know.
How was Ronald?
He pitched really well. I had a no-hitter for 7+ innings, and he gives up 1 run. He deserved better.
Did you talk? Obviously, he was very involved in the whole situation.
Who was?
Sam Brown. The one of his teammates got hit. And yet
Well, there was a warning. There was a warning issued by the umpires, and rightfully so. So that prevented anything else from happening.
But were you...
So the thing is, you have a brawl early in the ball game, then you have a no-hit bid into the 8th inning. But again, the Cubs could not push that go-ahead run in, and the Hiram Boca Chica play might have been the biggest one.
Yeah, it really was. At the time, I felt that Ryan Terrier was banking on the fact that Boca Chica and Sledge were going to come together out there in right center field, try to take advantage of that confusion and sneak a run home. But unfortunately, Sledge gave way at the last instant. Boca Chica unleashed a heck of a throw to home plate, and that was really the only opportunity the Cubs had.
We'll see that play in the rest of the highlights when we come back on the 10th inning show. Padres 1, Cubs nothing, the final on a wild day.
Last month, the Cubs took 2 of 3 from the Sox.
Here's a throw! Save!
Next weekend, the crosstown rivals head south, and WGN's the place to be for all 3. Game 1, Friday at 3:30, Saturday at 1, and Game 3, Sunday at 1:30. It's a 3-game weekend on WGN, your official summer baseball station. The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind, Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice, a clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polish or wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Try new Turtle Wax Ice Liquid Clay Bar to deep clean and restore your car's finish in one easy step.
1-0 the final. The San Diego Padres take game 2 of this series, setting up a rubber match tomorrow. We've had a couple of bizarre days. You had the fans get involved yesterday, and today the extracurricular activity we mentioned earlier happened in the 4th inning. As Derrek Lee was hit by a pitch, Chris Young went up and in to lead off that inning. The two started jawing at one another, and eventually punches would be thrown. Marcus Giles tackled his own pitcher. Lou Piniella got out quickly. Pretty good wheels by Lou Piniella, by the way, to get out there. Get in between Derrek Lee and Chris Young. There would be 4 suspensions. Lee, Young, Cubs hitting coach Gerald Perry, and Padres starter Jake Peavy. He's not scheduled to pitch in this series. When we got back to baseball, some defensive changes. Brian Terrio went to third base, a 2-base error in the 5th inning, but a double play ball. It goes 6-3. And Cesar Torres gets the double play, and Ryan Terrio comes back, shoots one to right to second, and one of only 2 hits on the entire day for the Cubs. He steals third base on a called strike 3. And with 1 out, Carlos Zambrano golfs one into shallow right center field. Almost a collision out there. Hiram Bocachica with a throw, and the tag applied by Rob Bowen to get the out. Mark DeRosa can't handle that hot shot off the bat of Marcus Giles. But they would get yet another double play, 4-6-3 to get out of the 6th inning. Still scoreless, and Carlos took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. 6 strikeouts on the day. He did walk 5 and made just a tremendous defensive play right here on the bare hand. Almost a no-look pass over to Mark DeRosa. The first hit of the game for the Padres, one of their 2 hits, was an infield single off the glove of Zambrano by Marcus Giles in the 8th inning. And then in the 9th inning with 1 out, after a couple of very close pitches, did not go Zambrano's way on a 3-2 count. Russell Branyan with the home run, supplying the only offense for either team today. And Trevor Hoffman would come in the bottom of the 9th, go 1-2-3 for career save number 501. I don't know how exciting tomorrow's game is going to be, but the standard has been set pretty high here in the first 2 days as far as crazy stuff at this ballpark.
Yeah, we'd like to just see some real good baseball tomorrow, put all the shenanigans behind, but boy, this would have really been a huge upside ball game had the Cubs been able to find a way to scratch across a couple runs.
Greg Maddux and Rich Hill tomorrow. We'll talk more about that matchup and wrap it up after this.
The Chevy Dealer's 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it. Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root and works so fast, nothing can stop it, not even the rain. So weeds go down and stay down, guaranteed. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Long live your car.
The Chevy Dealer's 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
The pitchers dominated today, 4 hits combined, and the big blast, Russell Branyan with a 9th inning home run. Let's take one more look at the Culver's sweet defensive plays of the game. The double play balls for Carlos Zambrano today really helped him out. He got 3 of them today. 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 1 in the 8th, and made a great defensive play of his own, preserving, at least for the time being, the no-hitter. But then in the 8th inning, the hit by Marcus Giles broke up the no-no. Carlos would go the distance and take the loss today. 1-0 the final score. So we're back with you tomorrow afternoon for the rubber game as the Cubs try to take this series. We'll see you at 1 o'clock for the leadoff man right here on WGN.
He's hammering away at hilarity. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor. Home Improvement